I have not been making videos lately, and I apologize for that. But we have returned, and I'm going to continue making content. I'm sorry for the delay, everyone, so let's get right to it. Salutations, everyone. I'm Nir Bikoshi, and I'm back. And wow, it has been a horrible week for me. For a while now of not making content. My LAN cable's not working for my PS4, so I can't stream for a while. I mean, I can try, but it's gonna be very difficult if I could try at least to do it. And if I can, then that'll be great, but I feel it's gonna be very difficult with how I stream for the next few days. So I might test out if I could try and stream again for this week and see how it goes. I'm going to do an experimental stream, and I'm going to do a regular kind of stream, or at least try to. But anyway, we are here to review, of course, the live-action Cowboy Bebop that I'm probably too late to review on, because a lot of people have already talked about it to death already. Yet, I'm probably gonna be the few people that praise it. Not to praise it with how a lot of people that on Twitter that watched it who have seen the anime or haven't actually enjoy this live action adaptation. A few people I know, well, one in particular, has been saying that they actually liked it and how it is very a nice little homage to the anime. And I was like wondering, really? That's interesting to say while everyone hates it. And let's just say I enjoy this show for the wrong reasons. And it is to say that this show is terrible. There I have seen episodes 2 and 3 just recently after I reviewed episode 1, and let's just say I love it. It is very bad, but there are a few things I enjoy from it that were at least an attempt at trying to make something good. Now, keep in mind, I had my expectations low, but also hopeful of this show, saying that, oh, I'm sure that maybe they'll do something good with it, maybe it'll be good, maybe I'll do something right with the show, and no, they technically don't, but they make something intriguingly bad that I honestly am quite surprised and actually very interested in. Now, the show obviously isn't good, and the characters are taking another notice of it, are really different than their anime counterparts. Like, really different. I'm talking about Jet has a freaking ex-wife and a daughter, which is really odd. And it does show them in the third episode, and you already know what the third episode is. It's the Ein episode for this show, basically, even though the second episode is the Ein episode for the anime. And boy, that episode really took an odd turn to make, the main villain or the main bounty of the episode basically white-faced him. No, I'm not kidding. They whitewashed him in this episode. As in, he, like, in the third episode, the bounty in the third episode, I forgot his name already. I am terrible at names. I'm very sorry. But you already knew who I'm talking about. The dude with the afro in the second episode that was trying to smuggle Ein. Because he already knew what Ein is capable of. And so here's what happens. He creates a disguise for himself so no one knows who he is, basically. And in this disguise, he's a white guy. And the only time you see him actually in his true form, and he's not in disguise, is when he's fighting Spike on top of this roof. And then he goes back, and his entire performance is him being white. And it's yet not only that, he acts like he's a different character entirely. And you're like wondering, this doesn't seem like the same guy that was kicking Spike's ass on the fucking rooftop. So why is he acting like he's mucho depresso and he wants to kill himself? It was mind-boggling. Not only that, it feels like a dumber down episode. Not just a dumbed down episode, but also very kinky episode of the Ein episode. It's weird. It's so fucking weird because they have to go to these strip club joints or gentlemen's club joints where they have to go and search for this dude and say hey, does he we know he hangs out there, and we know that he probably has a girl he gets when he goes to that joint, and it gets so dirty that it feels uncomfortable to the point I do not need to hear Spike Spiegel and Jet Black say yes, mistress, while they are asking questions to a fucking BDSM woman that is currently whipping a dude in pain while he's moaning in pleasure, and you hear moans in the background while they're asking questions from this woman, and it feels weird. Seeing this on my live action Cowboy Bebop TV show, and you're wondering, what the fuck is this? And it's odd. Not only that, they play the chicken bone song from the Ein and Ed episode where they're trying to get the mushrooms, or at least trying to find food, and they play it at this red light district place on this planet, and it just feels weird hearing that song while they are there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It doesn't feel like this episode. It feels like a dumber down episode. Yet it's so hilarious how bad it is. I couldn't help but laugh at how stupid it was. Because I was like, this is amazing. It doesn't work. Yet why does it feel so funny to me? It doesn't help that this episode feels so uneventful than the actual episode in the anime. It just feels like, oh, they can't do the cool chase scenes that were in the anime when they were trying to get Ein. Not only that, Ein is not a big factor in this episode. It isn't. Like, Ein's there, and not only that, the intentions are different to where the bounty is like trying to help the dogs, trying to help save them, and he's not trying to sell Ein in any way whatsoever. Not only that, the dude is not caught, or the dude isn't caught. The dude isn't like taken in for a bounty. No, no, no. No, he is shot. He is shot. He is killed in straight cold blood by the fucking police because they don't want to pay up for the bounty that was on him. Not only that, they killed him while he was still in his white boy disguise, this bounty. And I was like, are you serious? So we don't get to see him back as his actual self? So this dude who you spent so much time to make him look like the guy from the anime, you're just gonna kill him off while he's still in his white boy disguise, and you're just gonna leave it at that? It was less about the bounty and more about Spike and his past, which mainly is the big problem with these two episodes. I will tell you this. Like, the second episode is about Spike reminiscing about his past. It's also about Vicious talking trying to like show his loyalty to the syndicate. And you can tell that the relationship between him and the girl, you know, the one that Spike loves, right? Yeah, she's married to Vicious. What? That's odd. And it shows that the marriage is not that hunky-dory, basically. And the funny thing is, for these two episodes, I like it kind of goes this expanded lore about Spike and his past. And the weird thing is, it goes John Wick levels of lore, basically. Like the syndicate and these people that Spike, his past that he used to work with, that he used to be with, that he used to know, are all in some kind of weird, like John Wick-esque kind of bounty like world that is so, well, he became a bounty hunter, not them. And it's so weird, yet I love it, yet hate it at the same time. I mean, I'm all for like expansion of a story. Like, try to take something that was only 26 episodes, that only was made in a short amount of time or whatever, and, you know, try to expand upon it from what they had for so little they did. And I kind of did like that. I mean, it felt rocky at first, but I felt like, yeah, you know what? This could work if it was done, you know, better and not the way you're handling this. And I just felt like it was kind of weird. Not only that, Spike's like whole entire story, where you know how his story in the anime, you kind of know it, but once it became a full-on episode about his story, it will become that. The story becomes that episode, basically. And you get it. You understand. Okay, now we're gonna delve into Spike's past. But then again, that there was an episode for the characters that was kind of fleshed out, but they were only like slivered in there for a little bit, and then they get back to the main plot of the episode. Like, it wasn't trying to take over the entire main plot of the episode. They just showed a little bit of it, or it's going to be an episode dedicated to it that is partially about it in the episode that is connected to a bounty that probably the other characters are going after. And I did enjoy those episodes, especially like ones with Spike, ones with Ed, ones with Faye, or ones with Jet. And you get those. You get those episodes when they come around. But usually they would just do something else interesting with the show that is also cool that they would focus on. This feels like they're just mainly focusing on Spike, and it feels annoying. I don't know. Maybe I'm not okay with the whole Jet having. No, I take it back. No, I really don't like that Jet has a daughter. I really don't like Jet has an ex-wife. That wasn't needed and warranted. I honestly felt like there was a nice mystery to Jet where he was like, oh, he used to be a cop. Oh, he had someone that he fell in love with, but then she kind of fell through and not love him anymore because she saw him less because of his job. And there was something about it that felt tragic, that felt sad, that he did had feelings for her still, but now she's in love with someone else, but someone that isn't that perfect. He isn't that he has a lot of flaws to him, but Jet sees that she does care for this person and is like, okay, I see that you do care about them, but he needs to like improve himself and be better, you know? And he does still care. And then you see that he does let go of her. And it was a nice, touching episode. And I like that. He didn't need an ex-wife that sounds like every bitchy ex-wife in every movie ever you are bored and tired of seeing because you've seen it so many times that you're like, okay, I am tired of this fucking cliche. And the big-eyed, like, wow, dad, I love you. Wow, I love my father. Blah blah blah. Little girl daughter cliche thing that you're kind of getting fucking tired of. I'm sorry, I sound so cynical, but I am really tired of I have an ex-wife and a kid cliche in movies. I am done with this cliche. I mean, yes, I've seen it in Ant-Man, but at least in Ant-Man, it improved. Like, the relationship is more healthier and less like toxic and gaslighting. And it's because he tries to, like, because the whole like the first 3 episodes of the show, Jet is trying to buy this expensive as fuck doll. I mean, seriously, 2,000 woolongs for a damn doll? Jesus. Um, and he he tries to get the money to go and pay for this doll, especially paying for it in the black market because they're sold out. Uh so because he wanted to please his daughter and get this doll for her. Instead, he couldn't, and instead he tries to make it up for it by giving her Ein as her pet. And the wife bitches about it by saying, I can't afford a dog in this economy. I mean, Jesus, that sucks. And meanwhile, Spike is like teasing Vicious by shooting a bullet in his bulletproof car, but it gets through kind of and scars his face. Which I'm wondering why Spike did that to reveal that he's alive when he could have just easily still said, let me pretend I'm dead and not try to provoke Vicious. Yet Spike's like, I'm gonna provoke this bitch, and then just hoots. And then freaking Real Folks Blue starts playing at the end credits, and I'm like, what? Keep in mind, this is the first time they play that song. They didn't play this song for the first two episodes. They finally played it on the third episode, and I feel like you do not earn this song, buddy. I also have a complaint about the intros to this. You know, the post opening credits stingers before the actual like opening starts. I do not like that. I really didn't like that because you expect to hear the theme song and you want to hear the theme song kick in and you're like, yeah, Cowboy Bebop, and then no, they just do this thing where they like tease the song in the beginning, like messing it up a lot, that it feels so disjointed that you're just wondering, I'm listening to an incomplete song. Why are you fucking giving me a busted up opening to the song and then playing the opening credits scene? Like, it feels odd. It feels off. I do have praises. I mean, there's no way you're gonna mess up Ein. I mean, of course, just cast a corgi. It's not that hard. You can't fuck up Ein. I mean, Ein just looks adorable. I mean, right now, I haven't seen Ein fully in action yet, but hopefully we'll get to see him more in the show. And if not, what the fuck? I'm still dreading that we're going to see Ed in this. I know I haven't gotten to that episode yet. Maybe I should save my thoughts to it until I get there when we cross that bridge. But man, I'm dreading it. But I will say this, I do love the banter and I do love the chemistry between Spike and Jet. Like, I feel like they are my favorite thing in this show. Spike and Jet are just the most bitter sounding married couple ever in this show. Because Jet is like wondering where does Spike go every time he's like saying he's getting noodles, but he really isn't. And usually like Spike is trying to avoid that question and Jet knows that he's hiding something. And you think Spike says like, you know what, maybe I should tell him. But then he's like, no, I shouldn't because I don't want him to know. I don't want him to get involved in this kind of situation. to protect him. And he and it's a really nice relationship that's being built. It's pretty poorly built, but it's sweet nonetheless. I did enjoy their banter between each other, especially in the third episode, them joking around, being silly and having fun, and also with their job. And you know they're like close friends, and you know that they actually do care about each other, even though they work more as partners. There's, say the least, the fact that the bounty they were going after was silly. he he wore a teddy bear mask and he had like explosives, and I was like, what the fuck is this dude? And I found him funny. I found this like bounty they were hunting down hilarious, because when you actually see the guy that they were going after, especially after a fight scene, a cool fight scene in the bathroom with Spike and some dude from the Syndicate. Um it was funny to see this actual bounty after Spike and Jet are just arguing in the ship with each other. And then you see the guy, he's wearing the teddy bear mask, and you can't hear what he's actually saying. And he's like, what? And he's like, like he's a freaking pyro from TF2. And I was laughing, like, huh? And it was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous, this freaking episode. Like, it was over the top and silly. And I feel like this episode was more like focused on, like, not just like, I feel like it was a nice balance. Like, the bounty was not that big of an issue. It was more about the whole thing about Spike's origin and Spike wondering if he should tell Jet about his past or not. And he has that conflict about it, and going back to his past, wondering about the Syndicate that recently found out that he was still alive. And I don't know if Spike had another name like Vicious does. And they keep calling him Fearless. And I don't know if they called him Fearless in the anime. And if they did, I didn't know. But if this was a thing added in the live action one, kind of silly. Not gonna lie. Vicious and Fearless. Kind of weird. But I did like it. Like, I did like it. Kind of does strengthen the relationship between Jet and Spike in this episode. Because it shows that Jet's like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't push on him to ask him what he is hiding. I'll just wait until he's ready to tell me, you know? And it shows with that look on his face at the end of the episode where Spike is like, look, where where you think he's about to tell him, but he doesn't. I mean, I know we already know he's not gonna tell him because it's the second episode and we have to like really build this out. But it does show, and I think the acting does shine in this one scene where you show that these actors can actually act good. And that is when you see both of them look at each other, or you see Spike being conflicted, and then you see Jet realizing, you know what, I'll give him space and let him tell me when he wants to, and then walks away. And I really did like that. I really did enjoy that. I was like, you know what? I'm liking the relationship between these two. I'm actually curious how that goes. And it didn't disappoint me in the third episode, but third episode, yeah, it really does Spike's backstory really does drown out the actual stuff that you liked in the anime. And I feel like we should have a palate cleanser episode to help us, just let's just forget about the syndicate for a while and concentrate and focus on something fun. Like, that's the whole thing about having fun with Cowboy Bebop. There's fun to be had. There's like enjoyment and humor, but I feel like it's like conflicting tones battling each other in this third episode. Like the humor of Jet and Spike going to a freaking like place where there's a lot of prostitutes, and then it cuts back to Vicious gunning down a bunch of their workers. They're basically their drug mules, I think, or the ones that they force to make drugs for them. These people that are fully naked, basically making drugs for him and the syndicate. And it's conflicting because we just got back from a scene where Chet and Spike were questioning a dominatrix whipping a dude and moaning pleasure. And then we cut to that scene of Vicious going like, let's gun down these people. Like, it feels like tones are conflicting. Like, they're battling each other with something serious and with something humorous. And you're wondering, how the fuck do you walk away from that? Especially with seeing more about Vicious's wife, where you see like, did he hurt you? And he's like, and you see her eye is blackened and shit. And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't work. Like, believe me, there are times when Cowboy Bebop can be serious, and sometimes the humor can shine through at times, especially when, when Spike was what, like, crashed through the window, that song playing in the background, the that. And then you see him being bandaged up, and you see Faye, and then you hear her singing, and Spike is reminded of the woman he loves, and he goes to Faye and tells her to come here, and he says, "You're off key," and then he gets punched. Kind of like that was like the way to relieve tension after seeing something intense like him going against Vicious, after trying to save Faye and trying to go against Vicious in the church. And it felt right, with the it felt right with what he was deal with, what with trying to like relieve tension, and to like, after seeing something serious for the majority of the episode, after it being devoid of humor. With this, it feels like the tones are conflicting, that you don't know what to feel at that point. I mean, yes, the whole thing with Spike's, like, X being like hurt by Vicious. Yes, the tone shit changes, and you're like, okay, things are better now. But then it gets to a comedic scene, and then it gets to Vicious gunning down people, and yet you can't help but laugh at it because it's like out of fucking nowhere. We're like, yeah, Vicious, we have like what are we gonna do about our supply and our drugs and shit? And you cut to like unexpectedly it becomes Breaking Bad where everyone's like making meth or something or cocaine, space meth, space cocaine, I don't know. Uh, and they're all naked and I'm like, what the hell? Because keep in mind this, there was no nudity in the place with the prostitutes. They were all in kinky clothing and skimpy like outfits, yes, but not that much. It wasn't that revealing of body parts. And then you get to that unexpected Breaking Bad scene in this show and you're like, okay, I'm in a different show right now. What the hell is going on? And you can't help but laugh because because freaking like Vicious is like gun these motherfuckers down. Don't worry, we'll get new people. Their their eyes are sewn. I think their eyes are the people who are naked who are making the drugs. Their eyes are sewn open, so they're technically legally blind, and they it looks so weird. Like the way it's shot, the way how it feels tonally different. You're like thinking, what the fuck? And Vicious like gunned them down, and then they're dead. Like no reason, Vicious just kills them for no damn reason. And I'm like, why? And he's like, don't worry, we'll get new people. But why did you gun them down in the first place? It doesn't make sense. Is Vicious just pissed off? It's odd. This is it I would say these episodes have no right to be so long. I get it, they're Netflix. Of course you can get away with like having different run times. Your episode could either be an hour long, your episode could be 50 minutes, your episode could be 30, maybe 46 minutes long. But good God, I feel like these episodes have no right to feel like they're dragging, where you're at the point of thinking like, get on with it. Because how can you have a show that gives more, but not gives more, that goes on for a longer amount of time, but gives you less? It hurts. Like, how can you have the Ein episode and not have one cool chase scene in it? It hurts. It hurts a lot, yet it makes you laugh at how tonal shift it goes in this episode, that you just start to wonder what the fuck is going on. And that's not to say like what's going to happen in the fourth episode. Believe me, I've seen the beginning of the fourth episode, and when I say the acting gets terrible when Faye Valentine shows up, believe me, the acting gets worse when Faye Valentine always shows up. And I'm not gonna say it yet. Believe me, I want to, but I'll save that for another video. But for now, I am very conflicted after seeing these two episodes that made me laugh and also hate a lot about this show. Yet I'm continuing to watch it because, my God, it makes me wonder what were they thinking when making this? And it's weird how you can have creators that are like, yeah, we like the anime. I mean, I don't know if the creators did enjoy the anime or they are trying to be faithful and try to work upon like trying to do something different with it, which I heard they said they would. And also with John Cho trying to say like he's worried that he doesn't know if they're doing right, or is this really what Spike would do? Is this really what Jet would do? Like John Cho was like very scared about making this movie. I mean, not movie, show, and hopefully he's doing the character justice, and hopefully he's doing the show justice, basically. And hopefully the fans would like it. And I can't blame him for worrying that he doesn't like I think every creator or every like director or every like actor, like either they're going in it for a paycheck or they're like worried that they're going to be the known as the actor or known as the director that fucked up the source material. Like they do, like I think everyone worries about that, except for the creators of Dragon Ball Evolution. They knew they were making shit, so fuck them. But I know that's every person's nightmare that they are gonna fuck up something and they're gonna be known forever as the person that ruined a franchise. And I understand that fear. It is a scary thought, especially like the director of Die Another Day, Lee Tamori, where he's like, I really don't want to be known as the guy who ruined James Bond. Well, he'll be known as the guy that forced a reboot on Bond. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. There will be more videos, more reviews, and possibly more gameplay vids if I have enough space on my PS4 to record them. And I'll see you, Wolfpack, in the next one. Ciao, darlings. And remember, you are loved.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!